Alright everybody, 25 reasons why your motors suck. They're broken, they're installed incorrectly, or they're just underperforming. Let's get into it. The motor is seized. Motor is burnt out, the magic smoke is gone. A bent shaft. Screws touching the windings. Incorrect bell and stator combination. Mounting screws not fully tightened. Stripped prop nut threads. Bad solder job on ESC pads. Slipped magnet. Cracked magnet. That one's really rare. A clogged bell or stator. You got some debris, some sand, dirt, screws, garbage, preventing it from spinning freely. A warped or a bent bell. A damaged bearing. A stripped mounting plate thread. Single phase of motor is burnt out. Not securely mounted with enough screws to the arm. Not securely mounted by using the wrong screws. Damaged winding. Damaged stator. Incorrect battery for your kV rating of the motor. Wires ripped from the base plate. Too much soft mounting. Motor is dirty. Motor is not mounted flat or properly to the arm. Missing retention components such as washers, compression washers, C-clips, etc. Wire has an internal break inside of the insulation coat. Wires are pushed up against the bell, preventing it from spinning freely. Saltwater residue. Rust. Loose prop nut hub connector. Shaft does not spin freely. Shaft retention screw is too tight. Balancing mud is gone or has been altered. Incorrect motor prop combo. Alright, so now that we've talked about the many problems that can happen to your motors, there's some things that might not actually be your motor's fault. Some misdiagnoses. You might be blaming your motors, but your motors are not actually broken or underperforming. They're perfectly fine. Some of those reasons could be poor PID settings in your firmware. Poor filtering settings. Maybe you just have flexible wobbly arms because you've been crashing all the time. It's okay, I crash all the time, I gotta change those arms out. You could have a broken frame component somewhere that's not easily visible, and once you have one piece of the system broken, it accentuates all of the vibrations and makes things worse, and maybe you're blaming your motors because of it. The environmental conditions. Are you flying in a desert? Like, is it really hot out and your quad's in the sun and it's sitting in the sun all the time? Like, your motors are gonna seem a little hotter. What if you're in the Arctic and it's like minus 20? You know, your motors stay a lot cooler. Your environment is a big factor. Or if the ESCs are not getting the right signal, they're not gonna send the right signal to the motor's not gonna cooperate. Maybe you just have unrealistic expectations. That one's a bit of a caveat because some people expect too much, and it's important that we are doing something really cool, something that has only been around for a couple of years. This isn't like the automotive industry. It's been around for 100 years, maturing, growing, and look at the ND500. You know, it's all like a well-oiled machine. We will get there, but you have to understand what your equipment is capable of. So, installed incorrectly. This is a big problem for a lot of people, and it's definitely something that if you don't take a look at the motor and how it's been installed, whether you did it or someone else did it, that's going to be the first thing, is checking some of these details. Like, the motor screws, the mounting screws aren't tight enough. It's just wiggling around. The motor's perfectly fine, it's just jiggling. Tighten it up, it'll be good to go. Another thing could actually just be, it's dirty. You got a bunch of crap in it. Clean it out. Too much soft mounting is definitely a big problem. Personally, I don't believe you need any soft mounting. You want to have a solid connection because this is transferring power. This is your propulsion system that keeps your bird in the air. So you don't want to have any loss of power through that system. You might be missing some parts. Maybe you don't have all the washers and compression screws to maintain the retention screw, retain the shaft in the correct position within the stator. could cause a problem. Here's one that comes up on occasion. You have a bad crash and a couple of twigs push the wires into the bell. So the wires have kind of come up off the arm of your quad and they're pushing the bell. And now the bell is rubbing against it, doesn't want to move. That's definitely a big problem that you can easily fix by just pushing the wires back down. The motor has to be mounted flat. If for some reason there is a piece of crud in the way when you're installing it, it's a little off angle. That off angle is going to translate into the power of your quad and make it act a little funny. So that's going to be a big problem that you're going to have to handle, and the way to do that is mount it flush to the arm or mounting surface of your quad. A warped or a bent bell. So a really badly warped or bent bell is actually going to be seized. It's not going to, you're going to try and spin it and there's no go. That's not a repairable motor. Your best bet in that situation is to actually take that bell off and grab another bell from another broken motor and put that bell on. And hopefully it spins nice and smooth and you can use it. If not, maybe the stator's broken or damaged or bent, and either way, you can't use it. One big thing that comes up is you didn't use enough screws to hold the motor in. You see these people are like, I only use one screw. What the hell are you talking about? There's 4 holes, use 4 screws. You can drop it down to 3. There are people who want to go down to 2, which I think is a little bit risky, because if one of those screws goes, now you got a horribly shaky motor and you're at risk of having a failure. But when you have 3 screws, that's kind of best of both worlds. You're getting a little bit of that weight savings, but you're still getting 3 solid points of connection onto the arm. Or something as simple as an incorrect motor and prop combination can give you really bad results. So over-propping or under-propping, and your video's not good, you're not getting good performance, it's not as fast, it doesn't have a lot of strength, or it doesn't have a lot of punch in the throttle. Again, yeah, that incorrect motor prop combination. Now, of course, your battery and the weight of your quad is all a factor in that, but that's definitely something that you want to consider. Okay, that's how we wrap things up. Those are all the different ways that you can break your motors. Actually, it's almost all the ways. If you have any other ways you can break your motors, definitely let me know so I can add them to the list. A lot of fun making this video. I'll see you guys next time.